All right. So, Mark Zuckerberg's AI glasses glitched during his big demonstration yesterday. Apparently, he was nervous and awkward and uncomfortable. And then the glasses glitched. Hi, everybody. I'm Kenny Webster. Thanks for turning on the radio. If you're watching us streaming on the internet right now, I don't need to explain it to you. You already know where you are. And who's we? Well, I'm here, obviously. Whenever I have a in-studio guest, I always like to turn the cameras on and let people see what's going on here in Studio C. I don't know why it's called Studio C, Tony Ortiz. It's the first studio when you walk into the building. Did you notice that?
Yeah, it is. It's the cool studio. I don't know.
This is
for cool.
I don't know why. iHeartMedia says this is Studio C. Studio A comes next, then Studio B. What do you think they're telling me?
I don't know, man. It seems almost like a ranking, maybe.
I don't know. Tony, you know what I like about you is you're willing to have uncomfortable conversations, and a lot of people in our industry are not. For those that don't know who Tony Ortiz is, I'm a big fan of currentrevolt.com. You guys will write stories nobody else will write. Right. And then you put them on the internet and they go hugely viral. And people are like, who's this Tony Ortiz guy? Who's funding him? Who is this guy? Yeah. You're just some guy.
I'm just a normal, innocent guy.
You're like the comfortably smug of Texas.
Oh, God, that guy's kind of weird. I hope I'm not. I don't want to be that guy.
But you've been on some of the biggest podcasts, Tim Pool's show. Right. You've been, obviously, this one. It doesn't get any bigger than this.
Right, that's true. I came all the way from Dallas to be here.
Well, you're actually here for you're here for the Texas Youth Summit right now.
I am. Christian Collins Youth Summit.
And obviously you're conservative.
I am.
You're very conservative.
I am. I am pretty much on the farthest right of the spectrum. Not the farthest right, but pretty far.
You're not like neo-Nazi, right? But like you're
no, I'm not neo-Nazi.
Fiscal conservative, yeah. Paleo conservative. Would you say you're more conservative than the current Republican mainstream party right now?
Yeah, probably. I think that the party is doing a good job of going towards that direction, but yeah, probably.
I tend to agree with that.
For sure.
You will write stories about people on your side,
right?
That are career ending.
Yeah, oftentimes. And the fact is, like, we're in the state of Texas, right? And so if you don't like the way things are done in Texas, generally it's a Republican's fault.
Right. Okay. Well, that's fair because you're mostly doing Texas politics.
Right. We only do Texas politics. Yeah. Absolutely.
I am a big fan of most of the people speaking at the Texas Youth Summit this weekend. And even those I'm not really a fan of, I wouldn't say like I'm their enemy, or I've been very critical of Governor Abbott. You know, I think I'm more conservative than him. But during this time that we're living in right now, I don't think he's the worst governor. I'm not going to go so far as to endorse him or praise him. I've always called him Governor Good Enough. He's speaking there this weekend.
He is.
I will tell you this. Somebody that's speaking there this weekend that my white conservative friends love, Maya Flores.
I'm a big fan of Myra Flores. Some of my biggest stories are because of Mrs. Flores.
But you told me something about her I did not know. Now, I like her. I think she's a good person, but you told me something I did not know about her.
I'm sure she's a great person. I'm sure she's a phenomenal person. She also has really great taste in food and collecting food pictures from other people. Yeah.
About an hour ago, we were wrapping up the morning show, and my co-host, Steve Johnson, radio broadcast legend, left this room. And he said to me, hey, if you see Myra Flores this weekend, let me say hi to her for me. Steve, a white, pale-faced gringo from Texas, loves Myra Flores. He's a big fan of her. And you told me something about Hispanic conservatives in Texas that I'd never heard before.
There's a lot about Hispanic. What was that?
That they don't like Myra Flores.
Oh yeah, well that's kind of the thing, right? So like I've talked to a lot of the Hispanics down in her district, the one she's choosing to run to this time, and a good chunk of them are not a big fan of hers. In fact, the recent polling she published kind of shows that. It shows that I think it was something like 50% are undecided, and she's run 4 times. This is her 4th time running. Third time lose. Well, she's lost several times before, but this is her 4th time running. And yeah, she put out a poll and people are still undecided about her, which is really odd.
So what is it that Hispanic voters don't? I mean, policy-wise, she's on the right side of most positions that conservatives seem to support. She has a vowel at the end of her name. I mean, isn't this the stuff? She's checking off a lot of things here that usually do well in a Texas election, a conservative Hispanic, but not her for some reason.
Yeah, I think the community's pretty tight-knit down there, and they've got, maybe personal beef with her. I think some of it's that, a lot of people aren't... I think a lot, like, it sounds so petty, but that story about her that we wrote up about her basically stealing food pictures and passing them off as her own. Okay, I think it shows like that she's like disingenuine, right? Like not really authentic, right?
That's a thing that she really did. She takes photos of food that she didn't actually cook, and then she posted on social media.
People were calling it Grubgate. Yeah, she was taking like years old photos from different parts of the country, not even Hispanic or Latin American countries, and saying that she had cooked them and that they were her own, and did this repeatedly for a very, very long time. And it was such an ordeal that she ended up changing her Twitter name because she was getting harassed so much online. It's pretty funny.
What?
Pretty funny.
She changed her handle on
her
Twitter?
Twitter handle.
I didn't know that. What? It was something...
I don't know what it was before. Yeah, it's the article in the bottom right of the screen where it says Grubgate.
Hang on. Let me show everybody what we're looking at here. Grubgate.
Down. Right there.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So here's Maya. There are 2 things Texans know as a fact. Politicians lie about really stupid stuff. Mexican food is tasty. Now, RFK Jr. says that Mexican food is BS. It's all basically the same thing.
Yeah, we've talked about this, and I agree with RFK Jr.
It was an AI video. But
yeah, I agree with AI RFK Jr. It's all just tacos.
All right, the ranch life with the family is the best, but she didn't actually take this photo.
No, yeah, if you keep scrolling down, we actually post where it came from.
It's from Visit Guyana. Oh, my God.
And look at the date, 2022.
2022. Wow, how about that? And what are these? Are these tortillas?
Man, I don't. It's a taco.
It's all,
It's all tacos.
Meat, vegetable, tortilla. I think Jim Gaffigan did a bit about
fried, hard shell, soft shell.
I do love it.
They're good. Not my favorite foods.
The biggest difference between Tex-Mex and Mexican would be what? Flour and corn tortilla?
Yeah, that, and like Tex-Mex is generally more spicy. I think they're more focused on like the spiciness of the food, maybe.
My problem with Dallas has always been the food, because it's like Dallas is like a nicer version of Houston with worse food. Would you agree with that? It's like it's classier and cleaner, but then when you go out and you check out the food scene, it's not. You guys have nothing on Houston. I mean, it's not even close.
Yeah, the women are cuter in Houston, I think, too.
Okay, this is anecdotal. I'm certainly going to get unfollowed for this, but during my brief time on a dating app, I felt like the women were cuter in Dallas.
Well, they're larger, if that's your thing.
I think we're confusing Dallas for San Antonio. I think.
Maybe.
Oh, it's some churros. Oh,
there's some tortas in Dallas.
It's torta. Can you explain that? What's a torta?
Tortas is a derogatory term for a large Hispanic female.
And it's actually, but is it derogatory? Because my Latino friends, my Hispanic buddies, want to go out drinking on the weekend.
Yeah, torta hunting.
And I'm going to do the voice. Can I have your permission?
Yeah, you always have my permission.
He's like, Kenny, bro, we're going out this weekend to get some tortas, bro. And I'm like, we're going eating? They're like, no, Kenny, we're going to get some chunky Hispanic girls. And they love them, dude. They're very passionate, but to them, it's not an insult. They love it.
Yeah, not my thing.
Not your thing.
Not my thing.
You are? Can I out you on the air?
Yeah, please do. I'm very public about this.
You have an Asian thing, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm of the Asian persuasion. Yeah. My wife is Japanese.
Is that right?
Yeah. I've always dated Asian girls.
And you've been to Japan?
I actually am going back here very, very soon.
All right. Look,
yeah.
So riddle me this, because Japan is the one country in the West, with maybe South Korea as an exception here, very similar values as us. And then the rest of the Far East over there, what did I say, the West? Japan is one country in the Far East with very similar values to Western countries.
Yeah, like conservative social values for sure.
Why is that?
I don't know. I think that they're just like a very like racially homogenous country, and they're very strict on standards, and they don't They're not ones for like you go down there and like every guy is wearing the same color suit. It's very conservative for the most part. I don't know what it is, but like, yeah, when I met my wife, she's not even political, but we just meshed naturally because her family and her were just naturally conservative.
Do you think it has something to do with the fact that they're on an island, so they're all nationalists? They don't want strangers coming in? Is that part of it?
That could be it, and that's kind of what's kept them so safe. People will not like to hear that, but that's one of the things that's kept Japan really safe is the fact that they're like on an island and that Japan is generally for Japanese. I mean, you can even, become a citizen in Japan and you can be born in Japan, but if you're not ethnically Japanese, they don't ever accept you as a Japanese.
All right, explain this to me. This sound effect, I'm going to mute the mic so you can hear it. Why does that offend people? What?
I don't know. Every time that sound plays in my head every time my wife walks in the room, so I don't know why that offends anyone.
Hey, quick break. More with Tony Ortiz from Current Revolt right after this.
If you miss any part of Pursuit of Happiness Radio, you may do irreversible damage to the course of your entire existence. Or you might not.
Oh, hey, everybody, real quick. Quick break. Hang on one second. I am just saving that segment. If you're watching us live streaming online right now, which you are, we're recording segments that we'll play later this afternoon because we are on our way to the Texas Youth Summit this afternoon. And if you're not heading to that, and I think you should, but maybe you don't feel like it's for you, you're not the demographic. It really is an incredible event with some amazing speakers. We're on our way there right now. Now, if it's too late for you to go to that, fear not, my friends. I do have a plan B for you. On Sunday, October 5th, at the Bad Astronaut Brewing Company, me, Jesse Payton, Steve Johnson, Billy Ed Hatfield, Mr. Kenneth, Mr. O, Chad Prather, we present to you Operation Comedy Therapy 2025. 100% of your ticket purchase will go towards paying for a wheelchair for a disabled military veteran. Wheelchairsforwarriors.org is my favorite charity. Not long ago, there was the Fire Aid, they called it. Fire Aid was almost as embarrassing as Fire Fest. It was this big concert that they had in South California to raise money for people who lost their homes in the Malibu fire. And in the wake of that happening, people realized even though they'd raised tens of millions, $100 million, a small portion of it actually went towards helping people that lost their home. That's the big problem with a lot of nonprofits. That's why I love Wheelchairs for Warriors. The money actually goes towards paying for a wheelchair. The vast majority of your purchase ticket will pay for either the wheelchair or the event itself. So go to wheelchairsforwarriors.org today. Get your tickets. You'll be glad you did. We're going back live right now on the air, so don't go anywhere. Hang on one second.
The effects on the mind are explosively disruptive.
All right. Happy birthday today to Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon turns 51 today. He will celebrate by having a job. He has a job, and other, as you know, other late night show hosts do not have a job. Tony Ortiz of CurrentRevolt.com.
Yeah, we have jobs.
Yeah, we work,
Yeah,
you know.
we work.
Yeah, I don't get paid the kind of Jimmy Kimmel was making $85,000 an episode. Do you
And I
think it
heard
was,
only 120,000 people were tuning in.
isn't that crazy?
That's insane. It totally just propped up propaganda machine. That's all it is.
Our morning radio show, to put that into perspective, reaches a 7-digit number every week. And it's me and Steve Johnson, and as you know, and the characters, or I won't go into the details on the air. If you know, you know. But, we're not making that kind of money. Look, I get paid a lot of money to do my job. I really appreciate it. I'm very grateful, but I'm not making $85,000 an episode.
Jimmy Kimmel money.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, and only 120,000 viewers. Like, I've had tweets that get more views, and I'm like a nobody.
Who's it for? Who is that show for?
That show is for leftists that want to be mentally. I don't know if I could say the word on air, but they just want to be. They want to have their views like regurgitated to them.
You would be surprised at what you could say on the air.
Yeah.
We can't say the S word, the F word, or the C word. We can't say
It's
the
like
M.
mental masturbation for
You
the
could
left.
say that, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's
we get
what it
away
is.
with a lot because
Okay.
talk radio is such a big deal in Houston that in Texas in general. Talk radio is huge in Texas. For those that don't know, it's definitely not going anywhere. iHeartMedia owns 2 talk radio stations in Houston. One of them is KTRH, one of the most important, serious talk stations in the country. Massive signal, reaches well beyond the scope of Texas itself. One of the biggest news radio stations in the world. And the other station is us, KPRC Radio. we really do get away with some things here. Probably the morning show is me, and the afternoon show is Jesse Kelly, to give you an idea of what we get away with around here. All right, let's talk about this. This just broke. I mean, I just learned about it. They hate you, and they think normal American beliefs are fascist. That's what we've heard over and over again. Case in point, there's a group of adults on social media who infiltrated group chat rooms and coordinated to destroy students for wanting to start a Turning Point USA chapter in the Spring Branch School District at Stafford High School in Houston, Texas.
Right.
This is right down the street from here.
Yeah.
You heard about this?
A little bit. What's interesting is Attorney General Paxton's already put out a statement that he's investigating to see if any crimes were committed. I actually got linked this story by our friend Tom Slocum, a Houston patriot.
Yeah.
And he had claimed that the woman that wrote this post was a Democrat woman that had voted in a Republican primary, and he gave me her voter ID. I ran her voter ID on the ride here, and yeah, confirmed. Like, this is a woman who is a hardcore Democrat, leftist, LGBTQ, et cetera, and she most recently voted in a Republican primary.
Well, they always do. For those that don't live in Texas, they're probably confused by this, but Democrats often, we have open primaries here.
We do.
Meaning you don't have to register for what party you are, and then
Correct,
you can
yeah.
decide what primary you want to vote in based on who's on the ballot.
Yeah, it goes both ways for sure. Yeah.
How do you feel about the open primaries?
So statistically, it shows that Republicans crossover vote more than Democrats. That's what statistics show. I'm not saying that's okay. That's just what the numbers are showing.
Which might be misleading.
But the reason for that is, like, if you live in Houston or Dallas or Austin or San Antonio or any like other major leftist city, and you are a Republican, you have no choice. You are going to get a Democrat. So you cross over and you vote in a Democrat primary in the hopes that you get the least most insane Democrat, right?
Right.
And so that does happen. Now, of course, in some races where you've had it very close, like, for example, the Dade Phelan race, the argument can be, I think that race was what, less than 500 that he won by? You had claims, and you had a lot of Democrats even openly stating that they voted in the Republican primary for Dade Phelan. So this does happen, and it does affect races, and the party's looking at closing these down.
People ask all the time, how did you guys get John Cornyn in Texas? How do you guys get Dan Crenshaw?
Yeah.
How is it you guys have, Dade Phelan, for example? I think this is the answer, right?
Possibly, right? And I don't know, I think, what was it? There was like Operation, I can't remember what it was called. Operation
Rush Limbaugh did this.
Yeah, Rush Limbaugh.
Well, supposedly Wesley Hunt was a part of it.
Oh, really?
Years and years ago, they had Rush Limbaugh encouraged conservatives to go out and vote in a Democrat primary. Right. And I could be wrong about that.
No,
I don't mean to spread.
I don't remember the name of it.
But I don't know.
Operation something.
I forget. I think Wesley Hunt was part of it because he was asked once. I could be wrong about that, why he would voted there. Maybe I'm mistaking him with someone else.
Wrong black guy?
Did I just do a racism on the air? Well, he is speaking at the event this weekend, and as is Ken Paxton.
Yeah.
As is Angela Paxton. Now, a lot of people think
we
Wesley.
just need Aaron Wrights there, and we've got a whole.
Mays Middleton, right. There's a lot of people at this Texas Youth Summit this weekend who are unifying, who people believe are enemies with each other, that are unifying together to not only honor Charlie Kirk, but go out and spread conservative values to young people. I mean, what's your reaction to that?
I don't know if Angela Paxton or Senator Angela Paxton and Attorney General Ken Paxton are really unified. Maybe it's going to be. It might be a little awkward. It might be a little awkward. But I love awkward moments. So
have you heard anything that we don't know?
No. I mean, they're going through a divorce, and a very public and a very heated divorce. Right? She's claiming that he had an affair, and of course the Daily Mail put out an article saying that they confirmed that affair and even posted pictures of the woman, and the Paxton campaign put out a statement and they didn't deny the affair, which is interesting.
Yeah.
So
I don't think that I don't think primary Republican voters care. I mean, look at Trump.
Not at all. As you know, in my rag, we report on affairs all the time, and as somebody who's reported on all the time, the very, very first question I always get asked when I mention that I'm working on affair stories, what does she look like? It's always the first question.
Well, when there's a teacher that has sex with a student, what's the first thing?
What does she look like?
As we're on the radio.
And then a guy complaining that there was no hot teachers when he was in school.
Where were these chicks when I was in school?
Yeah.
And then that classic joke, the victim is still recovering in the hospital after almost being high-fived to death.
Yeah. What a shame.
It is a good line.
Yeah, it is. And so, people, it won't affect him. If anything, like It was Hunter Biden faced the same thing. The dude was just like laying pipe across the country, and like people thought he was cool. He was just doing drugs and hooking up with chicks all over. And I completely disavow this behavior, but that's what he did, and nobody cared.
All right.
Right.
So everybody thinks Wesley Hunt's about to announce that he's running for Senate because he's been,
Polls and texts.
polls and all those things. Yeah, and we don't know if that's true or not. I have no idea, but he might. One thing is something that seems a little more obvious to me is the thing with AOC. I'm going to throw this up on the screen here. Axios has a story this week claiming AOC is about to run for president. Now, if true, wouldn't this explain everything? The minute Trump won, AOC and Bernie start doing rallies out in red states in the West, the Fight the Oligarchy tour. They're not doing that for nothing, Tony.
Right.
She's either going to challenge Chuck Schumer, an incumbent, for his Senate seat, which wouldn't shock anybody because she did get her current job from challenging an incumbent and won, or she's going to run for president. What do you think seems more likely?
The pendulum dictates that a far leftist is going to run for office. It's just how the pendulum of ideology and elections swing, right? It's going to swing back in the other direction. So I hope that doesn't happen, but
she'll run. I mean, she could run. She'll be someone's running mate.
Yeah, she'll be someone's running mate for sure. I mean, she's not old enough, I think, to be at the top of the president, right? But she'll run. She might run as vice president. Who knows? Who knows? I don't really watch national stuff, but I mean, she's an idiot. I mean, I've heard her speak. I don't find her intelligent by any means, but she gets people going. She knows how to beat the drum. She's very attractive for a politician, I think, right?
You don't watch national stuff? What, really?
I don't. I don't follow national politics at all. It just goes in one ear and out the other.
When I look at currentrevolt.com and I try to look at it once a day. So it's always on the days when I don't look at it that you have the craziest news story that published.
Yeah.
The content's free, but you do have content on the website that people have to pay for.
Right. We do paywall some stuff, right? Especially because, I do this full time now, and I gotta eat. So yeah, I definitely do. I do paywall some stuff.
Can we, for Pursuit of Happiness Radio viewers,
please.
Can we show them behind the wall for a minute?
Absolutely.
Because I subscribe. And you have a thing I love reading every week called Many People Are Saying. And Many People Are Saying is a great name for it because it tells you what you're about to get. We do a segment on the Walton and Johnson show called Died Suddenly. But you get what it is, right? Without having to explain it. Well, Many People Are Saying is your way of explaining that these are rumors.
Yeah.
But rumors are often true, right?
It's a Trumpism, actually. Trump used to always say, well, many people are saying
Many
this.
people are saying.
Yeah.
It's so
and he
great.
would do it to justify whatever it is he was doing. And so, yeah, we got it from him. It's a Trumpism. But like today's article, we've got this conservative judge in Tarrant County, which for people to know is in like the Fort Worth area.
Right.
Who's running as a conservative. You can see on the screen here, it says conservative. Your conservative choice for family judge. But this woman and her husband have not only voted Democrat prior, but they've also donated to Democrats and, and campaigned for Democrats. Well, we posted her voting record right there. I think the most recent Democrat vote was back in 2020, so 5 years ago. That was a presidential.
A bad time to vote for Democrats.
Yeah. So voted in a 2020 Democrat primary, right? And then several years ago, or a handful of years ago, she campaigned for a Democrat judge against a Republican judge, Alex Kim, who's a phenomenal judge. And then even donated to a Democrat judge. She gave, what is that show on the screen, $400?
Well, it's not nothing.
Yeah. So it's a substantial amount of money, So now she's running as the conservative choice. And I think that's, I don't think that's very conservative.
No, it is a little hypocritical here.
Yeah.
I love that you published this, though. I think it's such an interesting article. And here's photos of her with what?
The Democrat judge, yeah.
Oh, no.
Her husband campaigning for him.
That is a regrettable photo.
Yeah. I mean, so it's like, it's black and white right there. And, we threw in her husband was arrested for a DWI just in July of this year.
Which normally wouldn't matter, but she is running as a judge.
A conservative judge.
And it seems a little
Not
biased.
like you're a leftist judge.
Yeah.
But, conservatives love to drink too.
Look, I'm no stranger to the backseat of a squad car. And me in my 20s, I got into trouble for all kinds of dumb stuff.
We've all booze cruised.
I never got a DUI.
Yeah, I never got a DWI or DUI either.
I got caught for driving without having my license, like stupid stuff.
Oh, really?
But, it was a while ago, and then I didn't choose to run for office after that. I got caught. I've talked about this on the air before. I got caught with pot once, and in a state where now you can have pot.
Right.
It's
right.
It's not
I always
even a
got
crime
dinged for
anymore.
speeding, but my father was a Plano police officer, so I'd always name drop, and it usually got out of it.
But that being said, that actually is a conflict, though. If you're
absolutely, I mean, it's a I
If
think
you're
you
running
can
as
argue
a-
it's a moral conflict.
If you're
maybe,
running
yeah.
as a judge, and
conservative judge,
right?
yeah.
All right. Before we run out of time here, Texas decriminalized hooking under pimps.
Yeah. So if you are a lady of the night in Texas, if you are,
The oldest profession.
it is, and we cite that for sure. If you basically, they passed this bill, and basically, if you say that you were under duress and you were bullied into it by your pimp, that they basically will provide you immunity.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you are listening to, if you're a lady of the night listening to this,
They love this show.
we give you specific instructions if you scroll down how to make sure that you are not going to get dinged for your nighttime job.
What's this? Sex trafficking? There was a spy you included.
Yeah,
that it's-
yeah. So basically, it's like sex trafficking was never really searched until like a certain year, relatively recently. It's
used in
funny.
books. That's what this means, right?
Well, that's just a viewer. It's not
Okay.
really relevant to the screenshot. I don't know why Tommy included that, but like, yeah, if you scroll down, you'll see like, and keep going. You'll see there that
Wait,
yeah,
wait, who's this?
this is a Democrat judge that basically tried to like stop this loophole. But yeah,
Okay.
here's your instructions, right? So you need to save your threatening texts from your pimp, document your pimp asking for his money, get detailed receipts from your pimp, etc. So we've got, if you're listening to this, go to our website and get your instructions on how to stay out of jail.
Bottom line me here. Should two consenting adults, you're very conservative.
I am.
Two consenting adults having, one of them offers the other money, fully grown adults, law-abiding, medical background checks. Should this be illegal?
No, I don't think it should. And a lot of people are going to be mad at me about that. But I think if two consenting adults and they just want to do it and get money for it and exchange money for it, like legalize it. I think we can have an incredibly long discussion as to my theory as to why the left isn't pushing for this.
I mean, I think this is the most libertarian Republican talk show in Texas, so you know how I
Yeah,
feel.
but the Democrats aren't pushing for this. This is what's really weird.
And why aren't they pushing for this?
My theory is that the feminists don't want this.
Why?
Because despite being feminists and empowering women, if you allow men to pay money to sleep with a woman,
Sure.
that immediately kills the dating pool for women, the power women have over men overnight.
Yeah.
Because men generally probably spend more money on a rather large,
On dating.
ugly-looking woman
Sure.
for dinner, drinks, coffee.
Just because
maybe
they
a
want to
little
get something, yeah.
Yeah, and nothing, possibly nothing happens.
And to your point, like women don't go to strip clubs and spend the last dollar in their paycheck while they're sad and depressed on a Tuesday night.
Right.
Men have biological needs that women just don't have. And that's evident by the fact that here in Houston, you could throw a stone in any direction. You'll hit a barbecue restaurant, a gun range, and a strip club. And it's not a strip club for women to go watch men. That's never the case. Right. Tony, we've gone long on this. CurrentRevolt.com, Tony Ortiz, one of my brother from another dude. Always great having you here. Follow him on X. You will be glad that you did. I'll be at the Texas Youth Summit. I'm speaking at 3-ish on Saturday. So get there for that tomorrow. But I'll be there today as well. Obviously, everybody will be hanging out. And if you haven't gotten tickets yet, go to TexasYouthSummit.com. I love you all. We'll be back bright and early Monday morning for more of what you bought a radio for.
You are listening to the Pursuit of Happiness Radio. Tell the government to kiss your ass when you listen to this show.